What's up YouTube, Singularity here and welcome to another episode in the Call of Duty Cold War Zombies series. It has been a long time since I have made a video on the zombies, but we do have a new map out, which is a new round-based map, Mauer Der Toten, and in this one we're just going to talk you through how to do the Easter egg on solo mode. So just like every other map, the first thing we're going to want to do is turn on the power, so just kill zombies to get points, open the doors and make your way over there. Once we get into the room to activate the switch for the power, we're going to realise that it doesn't turn on, and in fact we need 2 electrical fuses to stick into the machine before we can turn it on. And these fuses are just going to be 2 tempests. Kill those, they drop a fuse each, and we can put them in there, turn the power on. As you can see, they are marked on the map so you know exactly where to go to kill them. So as you can see, we're just heading over to where the marker is. Tempest is going to pop up, we kill him, he drops a fuse, and just do this for both of them and then return back to the power room. So we head over to that console that's just on the left here, install those fuses into the electrical box, and then that's going to allow us to turn the power on. And the next thing it's going to ask us to do, as you can see on the left there, is to investigate the pack-a-punch machine. So again, just follow the symbol and make your way upstairs. And once up there, you can see the pack-a-punch machine kind of surrounded by all of these zombies here, and once we interact with it we get a new zombie type spawn in, and he kind of controls other zombies, makes them more powerful, a bit harder to kill, etc. But once you kill the boss guy, the disciple, he's gonna let off a little explosion and that's gonna kill his little army that he has with him. But if you want a few extra points, kill all those zombies yourself first before you actually take out the disciple. That's going to give you a few more points to start off early, and once killed that unlocks the pack-a-punch machine, allows you to pack-a-punch your weapons, add your ammo mods what you need, and I suggest picking up the ammo mod that turns the zombies into a friendly, because that's what we're going to need for the next step. So once we have that brain rot on the weapon, we can now move on to the next step, which is going to be building Klaus. And for that we need 2 items. The first one, we need to go to room 305 with that brain rot ammo. We're going to need to turn a zombie who is going to break through those barriers on the left there and unlock an extra room for us. And in there we're going to get some robot hands, and there is also going to be a safe, but we're going to move on to that safe later on in the Easter egg. So once in that room, just pick up those robot hands, and then we can move on to collecting the next step, which is going to be a battery. And for that we need to actually be in round 10, which we are on now, because that's when the panzer spawns, and that is what's going to drop the battery for us. So make your way to round 10, wait for the panzer to spawn in and kill him. And if you get headshots, destroy his helmet, he's pretty easy to kill. Pick up the battery and we now have both parts to build our robot. So we just head back downstairs to the safe house, and where Klaus is sitting in his chair we just install the hands and battery. He's going to turn on and make him available for use for a short amount of time. And once we have Klaus activated, you will notice your tactical grenade is replaced with a remote control, and with that we can actually direct where Klaus walks. So using the L2 button you can see we get a little circle appear on the floor, and we're going to bring Klaus over into the room opposite. As you can see, it says the switch control room. Put him in front of this locker, he is going to break it open and give us a flashlight. And that will move us on to the next step, which is going to be finding numbers for the safe, and that's going to give us the free wonder weapon for this map. But whilst we have Klaus out and available, we're going to unlock another area which we need for later on in the game, which is going to be in front of this wall. So just control him all the way over here, and as you can see the area is the sewer access, so just put him in front of that wall. He's going to do his job, break that wall down and unlock an extra area for us, which we will come back to later. So as you can see, he's broken the wall and we now have a metal barrier there. So for now we're going to move on to this black light, finding those numbers and unlocking that safe to get the wonder weapon. So for the numbers, we will see 3 rooms which have numbers on the walls which are 1, 2 and 3. So this is room number 1, which is going to be the first 2 digits for our safe combination, and you can see them there with the use of the black light just written on that wall. They can be in several areas in this room and the adjacent one just up here, like on that little spot I was looking at there, but for this one they were in the first spot that we actually looked at. So those first 2 numbers, which was 37, are going to be the first 2 numbers that we need to input into the safe. So for the second one, you can just follow this route I'm taking down here, drop down these ladders, and you can see number 2 on the wall. This is going to be our second combination. Again, just look around using your flashlight. That's going to give us the number 25. Again, they can be in that room or this adjacent one just in that top corner there. For the number 3, you can see written on the wall there, that is just in the grocery store, and these locations are always the same. And again, search along the walls and the shelving with your black light. You will find that 3rd number, and that will be the 3rd number for our safe. So we now have all 3 numbers for the combination that we need to put in. So just head back to the hotel, into room 305 and into that room that we unlocked. And we just go up to the safe, attempt combination, and we use our back triggers just to turn the dials clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever we need to get to the number quickest, and use our right analog stick left and right to look at which dial we need to turn. And once we have those numbers input, I just stand back up using my analog stick, and then there it is, we now have the free wonder weapon. And for the next step, we need to upgrade this wonder weapon, and to do that all we need to do is kill zombies until one of them drops this blazer mod kit, and that's going to allow us to unlock the next area of the Easter egg. And just to note, you do have to kill the zombies with the wonder weapon itself, not your normal weapon, because they will not drop that mod kit with just normal kills. You do need to use your wonder weapon for it. So once we have that blazer mod kit, we're going to move to the area of the map where Klaus knocked that wall down and unlocked that metal sheet. So make our way back down the zip line into the sewer access, take out our modified wonder weapon, and we're just going to shoot that metal door to melt it. Once melted, we can go inside, and that is going to end the round. So if you want the points from killing those zombies, make sure you do so first before actually going inside. And once inside, we can see 2 little shields on the floor which are protecting the things we actually need. So all we have to do is survive this tormentor round, kill the tormentors, let them blow themselves up, do whatever you want, but just finish this round, and then that's going to get rid of those 2 shields down there. So once they're all dead, we're going to get a little bit of dialogue, and these shields are going to drop, unlocking these 2 things that we need. This first one here, we just shoot it with our wonder weapon, and that's going to drop an end station lure which we just pick up. And on this other one, it's going to have 3 canisters that we need to pick up. Make sure you do pick up all 3, because we need all 3 for the next step. So our next step is charging up these canisters that we just picked up. Take one over to an essence harvester. They are dotted around the map, you might have seen some already, and once you've placed that canister in there, throw your end station lure in front of it, and that is going to spawn in 3 tempests. We need to kill those 3 tempests, and basically their essence is going to go into the harvester and charge up that canister for us. Now one thing to note here, I would have gotten rid of my brain rot upgrade by now, because sometimes that does turn the tempests if you have it upgraded, and that can interfere with this step, meaning we have to throw an extra end station lure down there instead of just the one. We only need to do the one in solos because we only need the 3 tempests to charge it. So once we've killed all 3 and charged it, it will glow purple like this, and we can pick it up again. And once we pick it up, it is like in the other ones, you're going to get this effect around your screen. You can use your back triggers to fire off that little nuke, and we basically just take it back over to this machine and place it inside, and we need to do that 3 times for all 3 canisters that we picked up. So also be sure to pick up another end station lure while we are down here, because like I said, we do need to do this 3 times. We've done one already, and as you can see in my inventory I have an extra 2 there. So another thing to note there is when we do pick up that charged essence canister, we did get a load of tormentors and manglers spawning, so just be aware of that. Once you pick it up, things will get a little more difficult. And that spot I just shot there is another location where a harvester can spawn in, and we're just going to run around and show you the locations that they can actually spawn. Near this dumpster is another location where we can get one spawning. So as you can see, those 2 areas did not have one, so we'll just keep running around and looking for the next one. You might have already seen them whilst going through the earlier rounds in your map. Another location where I just shot there. Again, as you can see, we did not have one there, so we're just going to continue searching. We're not going to end the round because we can actually do all 3 of these in one round, which will make it a little bit easier for you. Pick up some loose change there. Now I can't remember or not if I've ever seen one up here in this spawn. I don't think I have, but what we're going to do is take the zip line across to the other side, because this is a location where we can have one, which you can see in front of us there. So we're just going to repeat the steps that we did earlier on. Put the canister in there. That essence trap's going to come up for us. Kill the 3 tempests. Their essence is going to charge the canister. Trying not to kill these zombies, that's why I didn't use my weapon, because it had Shatter Blast, and chances are they will get hit. It's going to end the round and make it a little bit more difficult. So again, just pick up that charge canister, take it back to the machine, and then we will move on to the 3rd one. And our 3rd one here is over in the ghost station, and we're going to do the same steps we did before. We're going to put in the canister, drop down that end station lure, kill the 3 tempests that spawn in, pick up our charged canister, and then take it back over to the machine. And once we pop it in that machine there, we're going to see Kravchenko say sounds like we need to find a nuke, which is going to be one of the next steps in the Easter egg. For the next step we need to upgrade Klaus, and for that we need to head over to where the Pack-a-Punch machine is and into these areas to the left and right, interact with the debris piles, and we're going to find a microwave dish, which is what we just found there. Now even if you do have that one, you can still go ahead, interact with all the others that you find, because that's going to give you plenty of salvage, lethals, tacticals and ammo. So you can just clear off both sides of those. You could do this at any stage up until now. You can even do it early on if you want, just to get that salvage, so you can upgrade things a little bit quicker. So to upgrade Klaus, we just go over to the Corba rooftop, because there is a little machine there we can actually call him in from. We don't have to do it in person downstairs, but make sure we go to this certain machine here. Looks like the armor upgrade station that we have, and we have to place the satellite dish in there. And as you can see right now, the 2 screens above it are red, which means we cannot upgrade Klaus at this moment. Before we are allowed to upgrade him, he has to get around about 40 kills, so we let him kill as many as we could earlier on when we called him in initially. So we're just going to leave him in this room now until he gets those kills. So he only needed about 10-15 kills there, and as we can see now, the screen above his machine has actually turned green. So we just use our controller with our tactical to direct him in front of the machine, and he is going to step inside. Once he does, this is going to start a defend round for 1 minute, and basically we just need to keep him alive. Now I find this really good to do at the end of a round when there isn't many zombies left, because you do get that little bit of a breather before the next round starts. And we can see the disciples You get quite a lot of those spawning during this defend round as well as normal zombies. We got a nuke there which was a massive help for us, but other things I would recommend: C4s, use those just to quickly blow up any zombies that gather in front of Klaus, or Molotovs. Those are also really good for just killing any zombies that land in front of him. But use your wonder weapon and it becomes absolutely no problem. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Klaus is upgraded, gives off that little nuke which is going to kill those zombies in the area, and he is now upgraded, and we can move on to the next step. And for the next step we obviously need our upgraded Klaus. Now if you got lucky and had enough time while he was still activated in the last step, you can do that, but if not, just go downstairs, activate him. We need to move into the switch control room, turn the switch on the wall there which is going to change the direction of the trains, and once done just bring Klaus onto this track which is the furthest away from where we just came from. Put him on there and he is going to start pacing up and down, and we're going to get a different type of train come in which he is going to be able to stop. Now on this train there are two things we need to pick up. One of them is going to be a keycard and one of them is going to be a bomb. Just be careful that there is some intel on there, so don't mistake that for the keycard because they are in the same position. So if it's the first time you are doing this, make sure you pick up the intel and the keycard as well as the warhead. So that warhead for the bomb is going to go into the machine where we put the essence canisters earlier in the room we unlocked, but we don't need to do that yet. And for the keycard it just goes into one of these computers. One is very close to where we are, where we activated Klaus. Just put it in there, but then once we browse those files, get to the end, it says we cannot access the satellite. So what we need to do next is be able to access the satellite, and to do that once again we need to upgrade Klaus. And for that there's going to be 3 things we need, and we're just going to show you where all 3 of those are now. So to get those 3 things we do need our wonder weapon, and for the first one just head over to the apartment rooftop which is our initial spawn, shoot that tower and it's going to give us an antenna. For our second part head over to the electronics store and we're going to see radios which look like this dotted around. We just need to shoot those with our wonder weapon until one drops the transistor. The third part is going to be down in the ghost station. Next to where that harvester was, you will see a little circuit box on the wall. If we just shoot that, that's going to drop our electronic boards, and that is all 3 parts that we need to upgrade Klaus. So we just need to go over to him again and interact with him to craft that hacking helm, and once we do so, he's going to hack it into the satellite. We don't need to spend 2000 points to activate him again because he has already done what we need him to do. And as you can see, that computer screen has now turned green from red, meaning we can interact with it and use the satellite. So we interact with the machine which is going to activate the satellite and call in 3 high value targets, one of those being a elite megaton and the other 2 being 2 elite mimics. There is another location for a computer. As you can see, it is red, meaning we cannot interact with the satellite right now because we are actually calling in these. And we have our wonder weapon upgraded and it actually makes no work at all of these guys. So you shouldn't think this is going to be a difficult step at all. Just to kill them. The megaton is going to split as normal into 2 halves, and when we kill those 2 halves they're going to drop 2 items that we need. Now once we kill the first split of that megaton, note there will be a 5-minute game ending timer which counts down, so we only have 5 minutes to complete this next step. So basically we want to pick up one of those uranium rocks that is going to start ticking down our health. We need to take it over to a workbench to craft the uranium device. And once we drop that, you can see it stops ticking our health down. We just let our health go back up to full, pick up the uranium device again. Once again it's going to start ticking our health down slowly, and if you just follow the route I'm taking here it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But basically we need to take that uranium device up to this zip wire here, which is on top of the destroyed penthouse, and just place it onto the zip line. And we need to do this with the other uranium rock which the other megaton split dropped, and put it across on the other rooftop on the other zip line. So I'm just going to keep this playing. I'm not going to skip through any parts here, just so you can see how long it takes me and how much those 5 minutes we're going to take up, how much health we're going to use when carrying them, etc, etc, just so you don't panic on this round with it being a timed event basically. So again, we take it over to the exact same workbench to craft that device. We let our health go back up again, and then we pick the device back up, because we do need to take it a little bit further this time. So we use our ether shroud, which gives us that speed boost because we have it upgraded. And then we just attach it to this zip wire up here on top of the carbon rooftop. Both of those are going to go along the zip line, crash into each other, which is going to drop another device that we need to pick up. So again, we're just going to let this play through for you. And now we have some cleansed rock. We pick that up. Again, this is going to start ticking our health down. I'm guessing because it is radioactive material, it would deteriorate our health. Probably more in the long term than the short term. But once we have that, we take it down to this device again. Now as you can see, the first thing we do is insert the warhead, because we did not place that in there earlier on. We left it until this step, just so we could do them both at the same time. So we place that uranium rock in there, but it's not going to be enough. So we need to complete this exact same step again. And I need to note, if you did not end the round, you will not be able to activate the computer to call in the high value targets. You can only do this step once in a round. So once you've placed that cleansed rock in there, end the round, go back to the computer, call in those elites, and then just repeat the exact same thing what we have just done. And probably the most important point to note is that when we actually place the second bit of cleansed rock in that machine, it is going to start the boss fight, so we need absolutely everything upgraded to help us do that. So we have activated the satellite, we have killed the high value targets, we have picked up both pieces of rock, upgraded them at the workbench, and put them on the exact same zip wires, and now we're going to pick up our cleansed rock. So one thing I am doing here is putting on Ring of Fire, because that's going to help us a lot for the boss fight. But we have our second bit of cleansed rock now. We are going to upgrade our machine to Pack-a-Punch 3. However, if you look at the bottom of the screen, the only perk I have is Juggernog, which I don't really like. I do like more perks than this going into the boss fight. So like I said, when we place it in the machine, it's going to start the boss fight. But if you just press down on your D-pad, you can actually drop that cleansed rock in front of the machine, allowing you to start the boss fight whenever you want. So we're just going to go through some rounds, collect some points, buy some more perks before we come down here, pick up this rock and place it in the machine to start the boss fight. So here we go guys, we are now on level 23, we have all the perks that we need, we have our armor full, we have our wonder weapon upgraded to tier 3, and we are ready for the boss fight. So we just pick up that cleansed rock, stick it into the machine, and we are good to go. Now one thing I do here, as you can see I dropped an end station lure there, that spawns in 3 of these tempests. Now when you kill tempests, what they're going to do is drop ammo. So I would suggest for the boss fight, you pick up those end station lures, just so you can call in tempests whenever you want if you get low on ammo. Because for the boss fight we're pretty much just going to use the wonder weapon. We don't need anything else other than that. And with those 2 end station lures, we get 6 tempests, which is going to top up our ammo. On top of that, we get ammo drops from the zombies as well, so that's going to make sure that we can keep using our wonder weapon for the entirety of the boss fight. So we're going to show the boss fight in full just so we can talk through everything to do with it. But she's going to have several abilities, and she's going to be very tanky. As you can see, she has that blue shield around her. We need to actually destroy that before we can damage her. So it is a long boss fight, and the main thing you need to think about is actually staying alive. So this is one of her abilities. She's going to call in zombies around her which float into the air. We need to make sure during that ability we kill those zombies around her as quickly as possible, because they actually heal her, making this fight a lot longer than we need it to be. Her second ability there, you can see she's called in 3 balls above her head, and when she does that she fires a sort of crystal spikes at you, which pretty much destroy your shields. Like, you need to avoid that as much as possible. Ring of Fire helps to block those, or you can just run. If you are running, they will not hit you because the speed they move isn't quick enough. So once we take off so much of her health, she will transport to another area of the map, and all we need to do is follow her. And it's kind of a little bit of a downtime for us as well, because it gives us a chance to top up our shields, buy ammo before we run over to her and continue the fight. So you can see that ability a little bit better here. She's firing those crystals at us from those 3 balls above her head. Just avoid those while she's doing that. Don't try and fight anything, just dodge everything. And we use this downtime when she's not actually doing any abilities to damage her as much as possible. And this is another one of her abilities there. She calls in a load of those tormentors that run at you and explode, pretty much kamikaze tormentors, and they're pretty easy to kill with the wonder weapon, no problem there. But again, when she's firing those crystals, make sure you avoid those as much as possible. Don't try and get into any fights, don't stand still, just run. And when she's between abilities, that is our opportunity to damage her as much as possible. You can see how much those crystals damaged us there. We got stuck a little bit on the debris in front of us there, and she actually almost killed us. I would take care of the panzers as quickly as possible, because they are a pain to deal with, especially in the close quarters fights like this. And again, we've taken enough of her health that she has transported to another area of the map, and again, this is our downtime to go top up our ammo, top up our armor at a machine if we need to, even buy any perks that you might have lost if you have been down, or any you did not buy originally. You can see we aren't being swarmed by zombies at the moment, so we just top up our ammo. And you have 2 options here. You can shoot her from a distance like this, in which case she will teleport you to where she is, or you can just take the normal route, go up the zip wires and get to her that way. And this is another of her abilities. She has blue balls above her head. Our screen goes a bit blurry, we get the noise cue, and we have to get out of line of sight of the boss when she does that, because that is a wipe mechanic. She will kill you in 1 hit. So that's the most important thing that we have to dodge. It's quite easy when she does in this area of the map, because we can just go underneath her out of line of sight, but when she's in other areas you do need to find something to hide behind. There is that heal mechanic again. Make sure we kill all those zombies as quickly as possible so she cannot heal herself. And again, we're just taking any little bit of downtime between her abilities to do as much damage as possible on her, and this is why we use the wonder weapon during this, because it does the most damage of all weapons. And I thought she was about to teleport there, but no. Again, this is showing you how that ring of fire actually blocks that attack from hers, because it is a projectile, and if you have ring of fire upgraded, it does actually block enemy projectiles. So we've taken enough health off her there. She has teleported again, Again, we can run down to her or just shoot her and she will teleport us there. So we can tell this ability now she's calling in lots of tormentors. They don't pose too much of a problem because they kind of do kill themselves. Just try not to get hit by a load of them at once. And there's the white mechanic. You can see we're having to hide behind this truck there just to make sure that she doesn't actually one-shot us. You can see there is some upgrades that I do not pick up. I think the swarm upgrade is very bad for this boss fight, as well as the one that gives you a spread fire, which is really good for killing zombies, but when you're trying to shoot the boss from a distance it is pretty terrible, and I would actually just rather have this normal one. So the only upgrade I would pick up is the blazer mod kit for the wonder weapon. During this boss fight I wouldn't bother with any of the others. And when we have taken enough health off the boss, she's going to teleport straight back to her initial spawn area in that room that we unlocked, and this is where the final part of the boss fight is going to be. And it's pretty good for us because we have this arm station just outside. So here we go with the final part of the boss fight. And we're just rinsing and repeating what we've already been doing. Trying to stay alive, trying to put as much damage on her as possible in her downtime. Running away from her abilities. Making sure she doesn't heal, killing those as quickly as possible. White mechanic, make sure we get out of line of sight. She doesn't have much health left now, it shouldn't be too long before we kill her. Don't get greedy, we knew she was going to use an ability, just keep running. And there we go, once the boss is defeated, every other zombie in the area will die. And what you need to do now is actually go over to her and interact with her, which will capture her. So just make sure you do that and you're not just standing around waiting for something to happen. You could taunt her a little bit if you want, just to be toxic. But I'm going to skip, and after that cutscene we do actually have an additional step we need to complete, because Klaus is going to pick up that warhead and take it into this tunnel sort of looking thing, this rift, and basically we just need to keep him alive and make sure he gets in there to deliver the warhead. You can see his health bar above his head, but again we're just going to use the wonder weapon. It's just normal zombies, they aren't any trouble to kill. You can step inside here if you want. And there we go. We can see main quest finished popped up, and that is everything you need to do to complete the Easter egg in Mauer Der Toten. There is a cutscene at the end that we have skipped because we don't really want to give any spoilers out. If you want to watch that, go ahead, complete the Easter egg and get that accomplishment for yourself. So hopefully this guide has helped you to complete the Easter egg in some way, or given you some hints and tips that you did not know about originally. But if it did help you in any way, drop a like, leave a comment below, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.